Hello, this is about writing drafts for essay writing. Most students have a difficult time writing drafts and understanding why they're important, especially in today's technology. Let me share with you first off one of the person I consider to be the king of draft writing, which would be J.R.R. Tolkien. You may know him from his Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Tolkien repeatedly rewrote his stories, even after they'd gone into first publication. Every publication of Lord of the Rings is a little bit different because Tolkien revised and changed and made his work better. And I've always felt that if drafts are important for J.R.R. Tolkien, they're important for me. Now I'd like to kind of show you my process of what I go through when I do a draft and I'm trying to do something professional for school. Okay, first as students, you're going to need to compose and submit your essay using Google Docs or Drive. If you need help, please remember that on our computers you have to use Google Chrome, so you may have to download this. If you need help, please go to the video, or you can ask for the handout, or I'm always here for you. Okay, your first draft. This is probably the hardest one. When I do my first draft, I just write whatever comes to mind. I just get the ideas out of my head into some kind of written form. I don't concern myself with the quality of the ideas. I don't concern myself at this point with grammar, spelling, organization. I just free write. Just get everything on paper. And then from there, I move on. Okay, now I look at all this I've written from my free write, just trying to get things on paper and out of my head. Now I start to carefully look at what ideas address the prompt, what ideas do not address the prompt, and of those ideas, what could be rewritten to address the prompt. Okay, now that I've evaluated it, I start to organize the ideas I'm keeping. I rewrite and organize those ideas that I can use, and I concentrate at this point on just what I call firming up the grammar and spelling, just so my brain's not going nuts because of all the misspells and all the poor grammar. I'm not really concerned still at this stage that my grammar and spelling is perfect. Again, now I'm going to critically examine what I've done. Does it address the prompts? Are my arguments as strong as they could be? Are my arguments logical? Is the essay organized? Does one point really flow nicely from one to the other? And how can I make the essay better? And now I'm going to rewrite again based on those questions. Okay, it's usually at this point that I really start paying careful attention to spelling, sentence structure, and grammar. By now, I pretty much got down what I want to say, how I want to say it. It's time to really look at, is something spelled wrong? Could I use a semicolon? Could I use a colon? Could I use a comma? Could I use whatever it might be? What can I do to make those sentences stronger and more interesting for my reader? I'm also really going to look at my grammar choices. So at this point, I'm really going to carefully just go through and do what I've got and make sure that all that's pretty good. The next thing I do at this point is I look at word choice. Is there any word that would make my essay a better essay? Have I used one word too often? If so, how do I vary my word choice? And I spend a lot of time on word choice. And you don't necessarily have to spend the time that I spend on it, but word choice is real important to me when I'm writing something that I want other people to look at and appreciate. Okay, now I'm going to look at, can I combine sentences? You don't want too many short, choppy sentences. You also don't want run-on sentences. So I'm really going to take a very, very strong look at my sentence choices, and then I'm going to go back and repeat all the previous steps. I'm going to look at spelling, grammar. Is there anything else that I can add? My word choice, all those things. I'm going to go back and reevaluate this point. I know this seems long and laborious, but really, we're almost done, and you almost have a great essay. Step 8, simply, you're going to keep going back over the paper. Maybe you'll find a little misspelling. Maybe you'll find out that you missed a word. I miss a lot of words when I'm doing it because my brain knows what was supposed to be on the paper, but somehow my fingers don't always get that into the computer. So I'm looking for all those little nitpicky things. Sometimes I have a real aha moment and have to add something, but at this point I'm pretty much done. I'm just going back over and I'm trying to make sure that I have the best essay I possibly can before I submit it. Now again, make sure that you've composed this using Google Docs or Drive and that you submit it that way. Remember, it's mrscolton@gmail.com. If you need help, please make sure you're using Google Chrome. I apologize, but that's all that works on our computers right now. And make sure that if you need to, I do have this video that you can watch that shows how to use Google Docs Drive. Or you can ask for the handout, or you can ask me for assistance. I hope that you found this little video helpful and that you will think about what I've said and use some of it to help make your essays better. And hopefully, some of you guys need to just write faster. And I think if you just get the idea that your first draft should just be write whatever is in your head, it's going to really help a lot of you. Thank you very much.